Alright, welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2020 tournament. This game was from a few weeks ago now. It's a week 6 game. I'm just getting around to it now, and let's just say it's hard to feel enthusiastic about casting your own games. I'm going to be playing on Facebook Void today. We're up against Google Cloud players. This was long enough ago that I kind of remember what happened, but not the exact details. We were trying some new stuff out, to say the least. I definitely YOLO'd a little bit in the draft here, as you'll see in a moment. At least in terms of oh, we haven't really practiced this set of heroes before, but I was feeling okay with the draft itself. It just let's say it didn't work out. Quick spoiler alert. This is gonna be a little bit more of a replay review. I just didn't really get a chance to see what went wrong in this game. Definitely started with the laning phase for sure. So there were off the bat a few things that went wrong. We kind of wanted to do this Coddle Abaddon combo that we did in the previous game. We gave up. I actually picked second pick this time. We won the coin toss, but I picked second pick. So we did beat Google Cloud players back in week 2. With a last pick Timbersaw, so that we kind of clutched that one out. Google Cloud players, they I think mostly Immortal and Divine, so there's definitely a big skill gap here, and I do I was we definitely got lucky last time, to say the least. So in terms of bans, I honestly hadn't seen too many games from Google Cloud players. They I think they had a lot of buys or forfeits. I'm not really sure. I only had 3 games worth of data on them, and it was oh, I guess we could ban the mid heroes. I guess I banned DP, I banned Ricky because he's just generally really annoying to deal with, and I banned Mars because he's pretty meta as well. And so Slack, I was okay, we're gonna do this Coddle Abaddon combo again, and then I saw the first pick. They're gonna pick Bane. Spoiler alert. And I was I don't know. I don't want to be Coddle against Bane. That seems pretty miserable in lane. In hindsight, I think Abaddon actually would have been a pretty good pick for us, because you have that shield against Bane. But at the same time, I was okay, well, I actually play a Bane a lot myself. I was okay, well, let's try what I hate going up against when I'm playing Bane, and that's Rubik. And so I was gonna play Rubik for myself. Let's just say I'm probably not the strongest Rubik player. I feel I can make plays during team fights, but in terms of I'm a 5 player, right, in general, so I'm pretty selfless when it comes to farm, and this definitely is a big problem when I play position 4, is that I'm too focused on getting kills. I don't really farm as much as I need to for position 4, and I definitely feel I'm always a lot poorer. When I watch Yuru from Microsoft, he always has shit tons of farm coming out of the laning phase, and I'm broke poor usually. So I decided, let's try out Rubik Grimstroke. This seems like a pretty strong combination. There's multiple ways to cancel the Bane ultimate. You have telekinesis, you have the ghost, you also have you can steal some spells from Bane as well. And also the Rubik Grimstroke combo is pretty good in general, right? A double telekinesis is pretty huge. I now have this Bane to steal spells from as well. So they're going to open with Legion, finish off their first phase with Legion Commander, and I think this is one of Diablo from Google Cloud players' most played heroes. I was thinking about banning it because I saw it in a previous match and it looked really good, but at the same time I was Grimstroke is a really strong hero as well, right? He's Grimstroke is really good, at least in this meta of 7.25B. So I wasn't feeling too worried about the Grimstroke. So going at the end of this first phase, I was okay, I'm probably a bit rusty on Rubik. My win rate is actually really low on Rubik, but I was feeling pretty confident about the draft at least. So they're gonna ban Wraith King, which I was like, I wasn't really planning on picking it anyway. And then we banned. Why did we ban Skywrath again? I think we wanted to pick. Oh right, I didn't want to deal with the Legion Skywrath combo. That's why we banned Skywrath. It seemed like the position 4 is still open. Because Bane, you really can only play him as position 5. He's not a very good position 4 hero at all. I think we did spend a little bit too much time on this pick. I think we were trying to figure out what direction the rest of the draft was going to go in. We were definitely thinking about Centaur right now, because like Rubik Centaur is like a pretty. It's not a very difficult lane to execute in general. Although the problem is Tracksuit isn't really like the most familiar Centaur player. We're gonna pick Void Spirit for now, just because we're also playing like different roles than we usually are. Vestinator has been playing carry for us this league, but normally we have Doge to play support, but he was not available to play this day. So we picked, we have Messinator on carry, we've got Tracksuit on, oh sorry, Messinator on support, we have Kasim on carry, and we have Tracksuit on offlane. Tracksuit is an offlane player, but he's our lowest ranked player in the team, so I'm trying to wait a little bit longer through the draft to hopefully give him a better matchup. But we also have last pick, so we have to like pick his hero next. We also picked Void Spirit, even though we knew it was probably going to be Kasim's hero, because really he's the only one in our team who's played it, and he's we're going to stick him in the safe lane. It is flexible. It's a bit of a wild card in terms of the draft, so that's why we picked the Void Spirit now. And then we see we're up against Phoenix, and that's like some pretty heavy days, to be honest. Like, even though Void Spirit Grimstroke doesn't seem like a terrible combo, right? Like, one of the big problems with Grimstroke is like, you know, you X-Foil your ally and they need to be able to just like run at the enemy, and so you need like either some invulnerability or some damage mitigation. So Jug and Ember are like really common partners, or even like some way to jump in like PA or Ricky. But Void Spirit, he kind of fulfills like most of the same roles. You know, he's got some damage mitigation with the Resonant Pulse. He's got the Astral Step to get in as well. So in general, I was feeling like pretty confident about this Void Spirit Grimstroke lane, even though it's like probably not something you see too often. And so yeah, I do end up picking the Centaur. We haven't seen their safe lane yet, but I mean, we can't really see their safe lane at this point. One of the problems with last pick is that like you're really all in on having like the last pick mid, right? I mean, that's kind of how we won the last game, right? We managed to snatch Alex like a last pick Timbersaw, and then he was able to take over the game, and you know, it definitely puts a lot of pressure on him to carry the game for us, because we kind of like, you know, your other lanes end up worse in general with your second pick, which is kind of why I do prefer first pick in general, but decided to try and give Alex the best shot he can to like help carry this game. And again with Gyrocopter, which is not the best laning partner with Bane, to be honest, so I wasn't sweating too many bullets. At the same time, Gyrocopter is pretty decent against Centaur. Centaur is much better against like a lot of physical damage, because return as well, you get to trade a little bit better. Now Centaur needs to focus on building at least a hood for himself first, before going for a blink. And I guess that's pretty normal. Like, you don't really want like your offlane to go blink first anymore. That's pretty uncommon these days. You just don't get any stats from it, and we don't have like. We have like some ways to get in, right? Like we always had the Stampede at the end of the day. We have the Stampede to get away from the Phoenix Egg as well. We have Void Spirit who can potentially start fights. You know, an X-Swell into an Astral Step is like not a terrible way to start fights. So at this point, we're banning Husker because like we just don't want to get cheesed out, and I think he's like really good against most of our heroes, so we don't really have many ways to deal with Husker right now. They're gonna ban Jug, so they think it's a Void Spirit mid instead of a safe lane, so I guess that's like a testament to why you don't see safe lane Void Spirit very often.
10 seconds to bid.
He definitely needs levels.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
And I mean, I guess one of the things we did mess up with a little bit was we spent a lot of time on this third pick, which means like, you know, we're trying to save this last pick for Alex to have a really good last matchup, but then like we also spent all our time in the third pick, so we have less time to talk about like, oh, okay, what actually is the best matchup for you. So they're gonna go with Queen of Pain. I actually like saw their mid practicing, so it's like he was practicing with maybe plus CTY with from the Facebook Wuhan Jayo team, and then I managed to like spy that they had like a 1v1 mid lobby going, and then they were playing Queen of Pain, but I was like, whatever, you know, it's just a 1v1. They're probably not going to pick Queen of Pain, but regardless, it's not a big deal. So at this point, there's not that many heroes that are like, oh, okay, this crushes Queen of Pain mid. So we're thinking about DK, because DK at least trades, and he's going to get enough out of the lane, has a lot more base damage than the Queen of Pain, so should be able to get last hits. He has the regen to deal with Queen of Pain's harassment, so... And it's also like a hero that can push towers, right? We're pretty light on the tower push right now. We do need a little bit of extra lockdown as well, so the stun is pretty welcome. Grimstroke, Dragon Tail is like one of the things we were looking for. So I guess like from a drafting perspective, overall I feel like our draft was... We didn't get outdrafted, at least like in this game. I didn't feel too bad about this draft, but... as you'll see in the game, there are a lot of execution issues. We definitely didn't practice this lineup as much. It's very experimental, and I don't know, we haven't practiced as much as we should. That's I'll put it like that. Okay, it's taking a bit longer. I don't remember if there was I don't think there was a pause. But yeah, their team also had some like pretty meta heroes, I'd say. Like Gyro is really popular in this patch. I personally am a big fan of Bane, although I know he's like not that popular at the pro level. I think Phoenix is also really good as well. So as their draft is a little bit more meta than ours. Although I've definitely seen a lot of teams run this like, you know, Rubik Centaur lane, and then also this Rubik Grimstroke support duo. So like it's not like my draft has like mostly come out of nowhere. DK is also like rising in popularity a lot around when this was happening. So there's going to be 4 heroes heading top for Google Cloud players. I didn't really understand why Tracksuit was heading this way. That was a bit confusing. The Sat Trombone comes out. I mean, this is actually like such an easy play to do, right? You know, this trio has a pretty decent chunk of kill potential between the Queen of Pain, who wants to level Shadow Strike at level 1 anyway, so you get that extra slow, and these two heroes hit fairly hard. Diablo is going to skill Overwhelming Odds at level 1, which I don't think is too common, but you know, you got to spend that mana, right? Get that little bit of move speed buff as well, and the pings come out now. They will not feed here, at least. So it's gonna be 2 for 2. Coronavirus patient just sitting in the trees silently.
John, I really hope this match ends up being of any cosmic significance.
It's gonna be 2 for 2 bounty runes. So, okay, right off the bat, I wasn't paying too much attention to this lane. I think this Blightstone is pretty interesting on Void Spirit. Not really something I expected to see out of him, but the alternative would be like a Quelling Blade for last hit, so it's not the worst. They don't have that much armor between the LC and the Phoenix. Phoenix with 0 armor, only 3 armor, and this reduces it by 2, so really just needed... I'm going to focus a little bit on how this lane went, because I think top and mid weren't the worst lanes. I remember like 5 minutes into this game and like top lane was a complete disaster. So Messinator not skilling anything yet. And I mean Phoenix gets a full Fire Spirits off onto the Void Spirit here, so this makes his lane really difficult now. He took a lot of harass from that, and the overwhelming odds as well. And the Ink Spell is now built up, but I remember like it being pretty silent on comms from this lane. Like, I really didn't hear a whole lot of coordination going on here. And the problem with with Grimstreak is really that like the cast range on this is so short that you really need to like work with your lane partner, otherwise like you're just gonna feed. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen here, because already no Ink Spell used yet. The creeps are being pulled to the hard camp. They will get level 2 at last, and Alex loses his courier in mid. I remember this lane also seems to go okay for us. Like already Quap is getting bullied out a little bit. And seems pretty even CS wise so far. Alright, Inkspell comes in, but Phoenix has a dive, actually gets hit by it as well, hit by the Aether Remnant, and Transparency, he's like he's going to be okay for now. Actually another Stroke of Fate, and they do get first blood here. I don't really remember that happening, but Kassim ends up going down, the creeps proc the Moment of Courage, and that gets Diablo the kill. Ah, okay. I think this is, I guess he had the money for it, but I think this is like a little bit of mistake I see sometimes from like position 5s. Like going for a boots early is not always the best idea. At least like personally the way I've been playing position 5 a lot is like buying tons of regen for the lane. And everyone has their own courier now, so you don't have to worry about like, you know, taking your mid's courier away. And LC gonna get caught out here, and the X-Fall comes out as well. It's gonna end up going off on the LC, but he's not gonna really be able to get any damage here. And Kassim, he's gonna go down again. This is a big disaster if he dies, because he just TP'd back to lane, and that's pretty much lane over. Like if you're a level dependent hero and you need to, and you die, and then you TP in, and you die again, I think like this lane is over. So maybe playing a little bit too aggressively, I don't know. I mean, this is not a bad skill build, right? Like 2 points on the Resonant Pulse. I think this is definitely the right way to go. Messinator is going to feed here as well. LC just going to run at him, and yep, this lane's over. Diablo is already level 4. I think this is like when I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, like they're in trouble. Bot lane is like, it's not going the best for us either. Like, we have a decent amount of last hits on the Centaur, but we're not really stopping Gyro from farming. And I guess like this is one of the problems of picking DK, is like he's not really a hero that can help other lanes. You know, once he hits level 6, he's gonna stick to this lane. It's like Queen of Pain. Once she hits level 6, she can just like rock up to a lane, kill the most farmed hero on the map, which is usually the enemy carry, and then kind of like pull the game back from a losing situation, but DK doesn't really have that option, right? Like DK, he's just going to sit in the lane, wait for the enemy to leave, and then use Dragon Form to take the tower. 5-minute bounty runes. So it's gonna be 2 for 2 again. Yeah, now it's like this almost level 5 LC against the level 3 Void Spirit. Also, this I think the second point of Phantom's Embrace is like definitely a big mistake as well. He definitely needs the second point in Inkswell. The damage goes up by a lot, and also the cast range makes it much easier to use as well. Also the stun duration goes up, so I think like if you're going to go for this kind of lane, Inkswell is the way to go. I think one of the problems is like Jake doesn't really play support very often. At least these days he's been practicing carry a lot because he's like, you know, he's like the quote-unquote official carry for our team. So it's I guess it's like he just doesn't have as much experience recently playing Grimstroke. Yeah, I do. We almost killed Castling with the lift into Stomp combo, but we weren't able to get him. It's a Bane. He's so tanky. So that is one of the issues with this lane. And if we go for the gyro, then like Bane's just gonna sleep one of us. So it's like not easy either. And Messinator, he's decided to leave top completely, which means Kasim is alone. Ah, man, I noticed this when Doge plays as well. He just like, I think this is a big mistake. Like, it's okay. Alright, if he gets the kill, this might be worth it, but this is a really hard kill to get. The Ink, no, he doesn't even go for the Phantom's Embrace. There is a point in Dragon Tail, but now he's going to show himself. Not going to get anything out of it. So this was like a really bad rotation by Jake. He's just left his Void Spirit on an island to kind of die alone. Which is LC6 now. And he's heading bot. Oh man, I'm not a big fan of these rotations at all. Alright, Coronavirus Patient gonna dive the tower, and he's gonna get the kill here. And it seems like Messinator's in a lot of trouble as well. DK's gonna TP bot but get nothing out of it. So like this moment was a big disaster for us as well. Like DK leaving mid is not something you want to see from a DK like at all until he takes the tower. And then Legion Commander went for the duel onto Void Spirit, wasn't able to get the duel win, but still a pick off regardless. And Void Spirit now only level 4 at this point in the game. He's been left alone for quite some time, so he's had a pretty tough game. Like, I would say if you're a position 5 player, you can leave the lane once you know it's secured, right? But he just left the lane and was like, he's just left his Void Spirit behind. The Void Spirit can't really stay here and shove lanes by himself. I'm gonna try and TP up now to like help out, but like I can't really do a whole lot either, because I'm like a level 3 Rubik. Like, if we had any chance of coming back into this lane, it would have been to sack the Centaur, and then I would go top, and we would tri-lane this Legion Commander. And even then, like, it's a Legion Commander. I don't think we're gonna kill him. So, like, I don't know. This was a pretty tough situation for us. You know, one, like, saving grace is DK is, like, doing really well. But it's a DK? Like, I don't know. It's one of the issues with the hero. Like, even if you do well in your lane, you can't help the other lanes. Or like, the alternative is like, at the very least, if we're gonna leave like Void Spirits to have a terrible lane, we should at least put pressure on the Gyrocopter. But Gyro, he's just free farm. He's going for an Ags first. Has the phase boots on the way. And between like myself and Grimstroke, we should have had a lot of kill potential. I'm gonna end up dying here as well. I like underestimated this Phoenix. That was really bad as well. And I'm gonna try and grab this outpost. So we do manage to secure an outpost there. The dragon form is popped now, and not gonna take off that nightmare yet. And Diablo, he took over this game. I think he was definitely the MVP this game. Just pushing everyone out. Void Spirit still level 5 at 10 minutes into the game, which is really bad here. And Alex is showing up bot. I don't know. He definitely plays a lot more like playmaking mids than Dragon Knight. I don't know. I think next time I'm definitely gonna pick him like more playmaking heroes for sure. All right, Nightmare gonna be popped now, and Stampede is popped, but the corner comes out. A big miscommunication here, and Inkspell popped on the tracksuit. He's not gonna be able to get anything out of it. And I end up feeding to the Quap in mid as well. There's no way we can kill this Quap in time. That's a lot of damage that we need to deal, and not enough lockdown. Aether Remnant was already down. Yeah, this game was feeling pretty rough at this point. I was not feeling good about this game at all. I think we just needed to play together as a support duo a little bit earlier. Like, I should have headed top as soon as I knew like top lane was a big disaster, and that Senso was just like, you know, do his thing. He doesn't, as long as he doesn't feed, it's not a big deal. But now he's like not really doing much either. The wave is going to push into the tower at least.
Middle tower is being attacked. Maybe no one attacked Dire's tower.
And Kasim's finally level 6, but it's I don't know who he's gonna kill at this point. Phoenix is a pretty tough kill to ask for. LC gets dragon tailed, and yeah, I just remember getting dueled here. It was like really sad. And LC already had a blade mail. I was like, what the fuck happened in this lane? 900 gold to boot as well. Probably gonna put a lot of pressure on this DK as well. Alright. Groovestroke's gonna go down, and a slow and painful death for the Void Spirit here it seems, so he's gonna be able to Astral Step out of there for now. Bane not using Fiend's Group, interestingly. That I think like should have been a free kill on the Void Spirit.
Dire's top tower is under
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of had this idea that we'd like group up behind the Dragon Knight, but then like we're really far behind now, so we kind of have to split up. We can't play this like group up game. So the strat has kind of fallen apart already. Let's just say it that much.
Dire's top tower is destroyed.
Like basically, like DK hasn't even taken the mid tower. He's barely touched it. Like usually a good DK game is like he uses his level 6 dragon form with the catapult wave at the 5-minute mark, and then you take the mid tower, and it's like time to go to other lanes and also take their towers. But we haven't been able to achieve any of those goals this game, and it's showing in the net worth. We're 6k behind already. And it's like, I guess it's time for a desperation smoke. We see that Gyro is still farming at bot, so this is kind of our best chance at like coming back into this game. But immediately the Aether Remnant's going to miss. The Stampede is popped now, but we're only going to be able to find the Bane, it seems like, and that's not really what we want at all. The Bane does end up going down, but I don't think we can get any more here. There's an Astral Step soon and an Aether Remnant, but it's going to miss. We do manage to toss the Phoenix back into the Aether Remnant, but a big Sonic Wave gonna connect onto 4 heroes, and the Phoenix is gonna get popped. It will get blown up here, but now LC walking in with a duel, gonna be able to take out both Tracksuit and Alex here. And so we got the supports, but we lost 2 calls for it. Even though we were 5 heroes, Gyro didn't even show up. He was farming the whole time. So that was just like super feels bad. Messinator, he was still level 5, so wasn't able to get a good, he wasn't able to get his ultimate off because he didn't have it. Like that fight would look very different if we had ultis, right? They can't run away anymore because like Phoenix isn't able to dive. and Quap isn't able to play. If you like just soulbind the Quap, we can kill her, but we just didn't have that option. We're so under leveled right now. And I think this was like, Grimstroke being level 5 at this level is like, it definitely came down to the rotations he made, like just leaving top lane in general and then going mid and not getting anything on the Quap at all. I think that was like pretty game losing for him in terms of his game, this game. I said game a lot. And Void Spirit, he does not have an Astral Step, but gonna drop the call down. The Ink Swell is popped now, and Coronavirus Patient, he's super tanky though, and I don't think we can kill him at all. We definitely don't have enough damage. Queen of Pain, only a level 1 Shadow Strike, and so what I ended up stealing, I was pretty sad about it in general. I was like, Shadow Strike, that's like the best spell, right? And Messi, he's got to focus on getting 6. Like, all the other levels don't matter. He just needs to get to level 6. Maybe max Ink Swell. I mean, at this point, we can't really fight anymore, so he should more focus on maxing Stroke of Fate. But he just needs level 6 so he can do something. To simulate in the Blink Duel, and nothing really to stop this LC, who blows up the Void Spirit. And that's our carry, so we are a little bit fucked. Stampede popped as well, isn't able to get the kill there as well, so that's a waste of Stampede. And Diablo, he's godlike, he's just taking over this game. We got crushed by this guy. To say the least, we just got crushed.
Bottom tower under fire.
Alright. And so at this point, we like know we're like really far behind, but we don't have any options. Like, no one has a Blink Dagger because DK is going for a bot lane. LC is just making space while DK gets gripped. I did manage to steal Fiend's Grip here, but then I ran out of mana and then I got blown up by the Brain Sap. So I was like, I was really excited to take this fight, and then I ended up dying. And instead, LC Blink Duel the Grimstroke. We did manage to kill Phoenix, but it really wasn't that useful. And Queen of Pain, she's gonna go down here. Gonna be a casual feed for the Quap, but we're still really far behind. And I don't think we're gonna be able to get any more heroes here. The Stomp, actually gonna catch the Bane for now. Oh, but the 8th Remnant misses. Bane should still die here at least. I think as a carry Void, this is not the build. He definitely needs more damage. Because like now we're just relying on this like DK who's picking up a Silver Edge. That's gonna stop some healing, I guess. But I think I would have liked to see Alex go for a Blink Dagger, especially because like Centaur wasn't going to get it for a while, and then he could help set us up for like a pick off, right? Instead, we don't really have any way to gap close right now. It's just like telekinesis, but level 1 telekinesis is garbage. Yeah, I'm not hitting level 10 anytime soon. So that's not good. And the Stampede forced the pop here. So we're not gonna have that to engage either.
Dial's bottom tower is in pieces. Dial's bottom tower under fire.
Oh yeah, the Gyro noticed that DK was there because of the Ags. That was very interesting. Coronavirus Patient gonna be able to back off now. And a Blink Duel onto Mastino again. He is not having a good game at all. 1, 7, and 2. And I'm having a pretty terrible game as well. I hit level 6 like pretty much 9 minutes ago. And I haven't gotten a single level since, so yeah, that feels bad. I managed to steal duel, and I was like, oh, we got it, we got this, boys, we got the lockdown now.
Dire structures are fortified.
Alright, we get to pull in the Queen of Pain. I'm not able to get the duel off in time. The Phoenix gets stunned. And telekinesis. I was trying to go for the duel, but I got nightmared, and instead I'm going to end up feeding here probably. And the Phoenix grip onto Rubik. Gonna get cancelled pretty quickly, but the Phoenix egg ends up just blowing me up. And another 4-man Sonic Wave. Actually, I think Void Spirit managed to dodge it. And I bought back a TP and then I died again. And I was like, can we call this one, boys? This is not good. I think we'll like, let's take one more fight and then we'll just end the game there. Because yeah, this track is very timing heavy. I don't know, maybe we could have, like, so when we were talking about top lane, I was actually thinking of taking Gyrocopter for myself. I was like, dude, Gyro Grimshake, this sounds like such a sick combo. We get some, like, early game damage as well. But Kasim wasn't really that confident in playing Gyrocopter. He was like, I'll play Ember Spirit or Void Spirit. I'm like, that doesn't sound terrible, but it's not great either, right? They're not the strongest laners. I actually really wanted Gyrocopter for this game. And that, I think, we would have had a very different laning phase at top, at least. Because Gyro does not care about Phoenix at all. I also think, like, I think this is the last time we'll put Jake on support, to be honest. He just hasn't played it for long enough, I think. It's been like, you know, a month and a half. So, especially like playing specific heroes like Grimstroke. He just picked up by Quap now. Feeling pretty confident about this game. Go for a BKB. Has a complete. Yeah, I mean, like, the Void Spirit was really far behind, but I still don't like this Spirit Vessel as, like, if you're a carry, like if you're a support position for like Void Spirit, I could definitely see like Spirit Vessel being the item to go. But you're a carry, you gotta go for like the big items like Crystallis and Deso. Otherwise, he doesn't really scale that well. So we'll see this game probably end soon. There's not a whole lot we can do now. We have the pipe complete on Centaur, but again, we don't have any initiation. It's just the Stampede, but we're so far behind that we don't really want to use the Stampede aggressively. And Blink duel forward from the LC here. Gets silenced at least. I should have tossed it back into us though. Maybe that might not have worked. But disarm on Void Spirit. He's going to be able to get out of there. He doesn't have a Remnant Astral Step though, so it seems like he might actually die. And finally the Soulbite comes out. It's going to pop onto the Quap, and she does end up going down. Grip onto Centaur here. Will buy some time, but Alex, he's not going to be able to do this by himself. Ends up going down to the Rocket. And the Fire Spirits gonna be able to spot him out because of the rocket. I feel like we may have possibly been able to win that fight if we like played perfectly, but at the same time we're like really far behind. It would have had to be like a Soulbind into double Fiend's group, but it didn't happen.
Middle barracks has fallen.
I think we should have just GG'd at this point. I think we're gonna take one more fight and then GG out. So we have vision of them. And DK's up in 3 seconds, so maybe this is the chance. Oh, the scan comes out from Google Cloud players, And I see this one coming from a mile away, and we don't have any initiation, as I've mentioned many times already. I mean, we have the Void Spirit, like, who can, you know, but he has no setup either. I'm gonna be the first one to get picked off here. I can still press the attack, but end up dying in 2 hits. And the Soul Bite comes out. Transparency getting pretty low. The Phoenix will end up going down, but that's it. The rest of the heroes. Fiend's Grip onto the Centaur here. Yeah, it's a full team wipe. And the aggressive GG from Phoenix. He apologized to me after the game. Quite frankly, I don't really give a shit about offensive GGs, but it seems like Jake cares, so that's a bit interesting. So yeah, sometimes you just get dumpstered, and that is exactly what happened. So we did dumpster them in week 2, but that was definitely a draft issue than a skill thing. They definitely have like a lot higher skill players than we do. Like this guy's immortal. I think this guy is divine 5. Immortal and divine, yeah. So like I only Alex and I had the divine players in our team, so that's I don't know. I guess that's like kind of what we expected to happen. We definitely fluked it a little bit last time.